Hello, everybody. Obviously, coming off a game that didn't leave a very good taste in our mouth. Probably as bad a matchup for us as we could have conjured up going into that game without Tommy. I will announce Tommy will not play again tomorrow. Tommy has got mono, so that is he's just, we're trying to get him. He's not contagious. He's beyond that. He was really sick in the Michigan State game, and then was diagnosed after. We'll see what his timeline is. Feeling better, but obviously that's something that you very unfortunate, bad break, but he will not be playing tomorrow. So beyond that, we'll just leave it at that. But tough without 7'1" and 250 pounds, and one of arguably our, if not our best defender, right there close to it. But I think it changes a lot offensively. So made a few tweaks and adjustments as we head into this one, and we'll see what that plays out. Northwestern's playing great. They've got Barnheiser and Martinelli. Could be the best wing combination in our league. It's a veteran team. They guard. We lost a really tough one there in a game that was right down to the wire. We had the lead and ample opportunities, but the first game was just brutally physical, and I would probably expect a little of the same in this one, but we got to bounce back. Had our opportunities. Had a 4-point game the other night, the ball, and miss a layup, and a lot of opportunities to win that game the other night, and then late it got away. But that happens in this league. You pull your pants up and get ready to do battle for the next one. So we'll show up tomorrow at 2 o'clock.
Coach, what's your take on the three-point shooting at this point in the season? Is it more shot selection or just shots not going down?
We need to shoot more of them and then get more rebounds. I think it's just like if you listen to Kevin Willard. If we make threes, we're his pregame we're almost impossible to beat, and I think that's we've just got to find a way to get more of them up. And then the thing we didn't do the other night is chase the misses. And that's one thing we have to do in the Northwestern game. We got 12% of our misses back in the first game. Got good shooters, and guys got to make shots. And they'll the more you guys talk about it, probably the less they'll make. They got to man up, and I'm telling them to shoot more. I want to shoot. We're pretty good. I'd like to get to the foul line a little more. KJ finally got back to the foul line. We got to get Bam at the foul line more. Playing off that inside out, and those are shots we make. And obviously not having Tommy, who's a guy who can really stretch it. We've seen him make 5 or 6 in a game, so not having him changes things a little bit. But I don't worry about the 3-point shooting. You can worry about it for me.
What did you guys learn about yourselves without Tommy the other night? And for you, what's been the value of having a couple days where you can make some tweaks or adjustments knowing he won't be available?
Well, the pieces of the puzzle all fit together when you have it. I mean, there's a reason that he had a high assist total against Michigan State. He's an elite passer. We played through him. We miss him dramatically on the defensive end. That's one area that's very hard. So you've got to, you've got different spacing that teams will have because he's not on the court. But Yeah, you got to keep your ball in your playmaker's hands, and he's one of those. And now we've got to shift a little bit. The pieces fit perfectly when he's out there. With Kyle and with Trey, with Ben, adding another perimeter shooter, adding another passer, a playmaker, adding a 7-foot guy on defense, who's cerebral. So just a little different, and we've had big advantage to have at least a couple of days to make some tweaks. It'll make us better in the end. When he does come back, and it's just part of a tough break. So you gotta man up and know we'll be better coming out on the other side.
Brad, you guys have been dealt some tough circumstances here recently, taking a couple of losses. How do you feel like you guys have handled adversity to this point, and what will you be looking forward going forward to?
I'm
to
as
handle it?
positive as heck. I mean, it's we know how good we are when we're whole. We've just had some unfortunate. I mean, KJ, bangs up a wrist pretty good, and we play without him 2 games, and we'll be without Tommy tomorrow, and been without him a few games, and I mean it's just kind of the way the ball bounces sometimes. But I know this will be really, really good when we're right and we get through all this stuff that's happening. But and it was Will Riley not practicing for a couple of days. It was Trey being sick during practice and going to the bathroom and not participating. It's just all those things become deals, especially when you're trying to figure out whether what you're doing without Tommy. So it was just kind of a hodgepodge in the Maryland game. But shoot, these guys are working their tail off. They're working hard. We're going to show up, and like I said, we made a few tweaks, and we'll see what it looks like.
What's the ask of Merez or Jake or Kerry, who are going to play more minutes with Tommy out?
We recruited them here to play. It wasn't because they're not. I thought that, again, really tough matchup the other night, seeing Queen, and I didn't think Merez was great, but that's his first start, and I think he'll be better. We've seen Merez be a double guy, and it's just 1% harder, and everybody's going to have to step into it. Kerry's going to have to contribute. We'll have to, we'll play some a little smaller maybe, but that's all part of it. You got to adjust on the fly, and I love what our bench has been doing, and it's just 1% harder.
Coach, would you say there's been an emphasis on trying to make higher percentage passes? And how do you kind of balance playing free and loose with not wanting to turn it over too much?
Well, have you seen our turnovers? They're dribble off your knee, dribble off your foot, throw it to the 4th row. When their turnovers aren't forced. It's not. Doesn't have anything to do. It's up to each individual to handle that. When we are mentally dialed in, we're pretty good. At doing that. I mean, we're gonna turn it over a little bit. We want our guys to play fast, but pitching it to the 3rd row, throwing a no-look pass I'm about done with all that crap.
Brad, first 2 play of the season, do you see Northwestern is significantly different than the first game?
Yeah, they're not playing some guys as much. They were playing some. They played some non-shooters. They're playing Barnheiser quite a bit at the point. Who's probably as tough a kid as there is in the league. Leach is a really good player. But they're who they are, and Chris does an outstanding job, but not a lot of changes. Maybe a few personnel tweaks here or there, but nothing major.
But I think Kylan's in the neighborhood of like 50% on layups. Is there anything fundamentally you're seeing with him, or anything that you can unlock to convert those?
Pray. Can't get him any better shot than a layup. I mean, pray. We practice them, pray. You gotta make them. Left foot, right hand. Right foot, left hand. 2-foot jump stops, put the ball in the basket. It's the easiest shot in the game. We just keep shooting them. I hope we keep getting them. Hope he keeps making them.
Outside of Tommy, how's the health of everybody else?
Yeah, well, I mean, we've been fighting it, but they'll all play. They'll all play. At least as of today, they were all in practice, and I thought we had we had a pretty good run on Tamiflu going. So, and anybody out there knows if you want to try to go exert a lot of energy when you've got a fever and that's not a very comforting thing, and like I said, we're better though, I think.
Jake talked about how different you guys are versus Northwestern this time around. Like, and I know you've alluded to how your team's grown. And what's most different, do you feel like, about this team sans Tommy's?
Well, I think we were very average defensively at that time. I think we were starting to earn and understand where we were at. You're talking early December. I think that we were still just looking for an identity at that time. I think that's one of the challenges of playing an early December game is you're kind of right after that insertion of Trey into the lineup and really playing him a lot. We saw him really flourish and has been really good, and I think it's just playing Jake, playing the development of our bench, Draven. I think we're a different, maybe changed as much for the better as anybody in the league over that time frame. But it's and we've got to make some changes. Without Tommy, there's no doubt about that. But I think we're doing a lot of things much better than we were in December.
It's been an extended stretch of positive production from Dre here recently. How important has his consistency off the bench been, especially with you guys a little shorthanded? And is there anything in particular you've noticed change with him that's allowed him to kind of take off here of late?
Yeah, he's been sensational. My goodness, is he playing good? It's every day in practice too. It's not where it's he's not doing it. He works so hard. I've said it before, the game's slowed down for him. I think he's, and then when that happens and you gain a little confidence, you have the ability to really grow, and he's just put it all together. And he's a guy that one-on-one's really tough to handle. It's a nice option to have, and truthfully, he's playing equally as well on the defensive side as he is on the offensive side. And I think he's pound for pound, he might be the best rebounder in the league. His ability to chase balls and offensive rebound. I mean, he's been he's just a tough sucker. He's a kid you want to go to bat with every day.
With Carey not playing a lot and then now having an opportunity to have a much bigger role, I know you say you just want them to play, but is there anything specific you want to see from him or want him to focus on when he's on the court? Yeah,
defend and rebound. Defend, rebound, run, shoot open shots when he's Carey's a really good shooter that hasn't maybe had the opportunities to really get going, but it's the opportunities are going to be there for him. He'll knock those down. I don't doubt that. But we got to have more than one rebound than he had the other day. And that was on a free throw. That's where he's got to continue to really help us and do it on both ends. And we've seen it in spurts from him, and now we got to continue to see that in games.
How important is finding the right matchups defensively in this one? Last game, a couple of guys with good positional size kind of hurt you a little bit.
Yeah, they went to. Chris does a really good job. They did it a year ago in the game there, you know, they attacked Luke. You know, went to ISOs. You know, Chris kind of runs his stuff in the first half, and the second half he just goes to ISOs. It wasn't as bad. I thought we did a pretty good job on Barnheiser, Martinelli. You know, shot over 50%. He's going to score. He's averaging 20 a game. He's a high volume guy. We made 3 or 4 really mistakes that we're not making now in terms of handling some things, but you know, they're big, physical. They're going to make some baskets. You know, we've got to. You know, I thought Leach was just as effective as those guys, and that gives them now they've got Ty Berry making shots. So, you know, it's a pretty good offensive team, and you're not going to take everything away, but you know, you gotta challenge them the best you can.
Brad, obviously, last year Terrence is a different situation, but you were without him for a little while, even back, you know, Io missed some time with the broken nose. So you've been without a marquee player before. What do you look at from the guys then to know that they are stepping up to that challenge, that they are handling then now the adversity, but also the absence that is created there?
Yeah, I think every situation is completely different. You know, last year we were old. We had Coleman, we had Marcus. We knew we were. You know, there was Ty. There were some veterans. There were some guys that were old, and it was an easier maybe transition from that standpoint. Did it impact us? Yes, it impacted us a lot. We became a lot slower, and we weren't near as good defensively. I think we were 9th when he went out, and I think we were 99th or something when he came back. You don't lose pros and not feel a little, hey, but 1% harder, get a little better. You got to tweak a few things because we play a lot through Tommy, and you know, it might look just a little bit different, but we got really good players, and it's maybe a little more Draven, maybe a little more Will, maybe a little more. You know, keeping the ball in KJ's hands a little more, or Bam's hands. It's just the playmaking stuff has to be a little bit different because we don't have that 3-point threat. So, but every team's different, and you just look for the guys to step up and respond. We play against. That's why we played 9 guys, and you know, and Kerry's got a great opportunity to step into. You know, some minutes and perform and show everybody what he's capable of, and he's a good player, and yeah, we'll just see what it looks like.
You've mentioned with Dre that he has gotten maybe past the hesitancy of, you know, little missed shot or mistake, you know, taken out of the game. Was that just a matter of time, or conversations between you and him, or him and your staff? How did that kind of develop?
All the above. You got it. I mean, it's. You know, kind of the argument, what comes first, chicken or the egg? Well, they just happen. It just happens that way. They kind of happen together. And comfort, confidence. You know, it's going through it. Kind of, you know, he. I mean, last year at this time in January, he was on the struggle bus, big time, and it was like, ooh, you know, and it is a lot, you know, to guard and to have different things asked of you than have been asked of you, and so it's a confidence thing, and he's never stopped working. He's gotten stronger, so he doesn't fear getting hit and all of those things, and you know, offensively he's always been really talented, and it's been more of the other stuff, but he's gotten everybody's attention with how well he's, you know, and what a good player he is, and that's just going to continue to grow.
All right, we'll wrap us up today.
Thank you.
Thank you.